as the data analytics music fades away. Welcome to Cranfield University on a rather grey day here in the UK. It's great to have you with us. Thank you for taking time out of your busy days. And if you're watching the recording, we want to get in touch with you. We want to have that conversation. So please get back in touch and you'll find out ways to get in touch during this session. My name is Toby Thompson. I'm the studio director in the glorious Grenville Turner alumni funded studio here on Cranfield campus. This is the next in the series of Shaping Your Futures. We are shaping your futures. This time we're talking about business data analytics. If that's of interest to you, then stick around. If you're in the wrong webinar, stick around anyway, because we think business data analytics is the future for business right now. This is going to be an interactive session. We want your questions, your challenges, your comments, your observations pretty much at any time during this session. Like I say, if you're watching the recording, please get in touch and do exactly that. We're going to be together for 1 hour, no more than 1 hour, possibly less, depending on the questions that we get. In that hour, we have no less than the course director, Professor Andy Angus. So there's your chance to ask pretty much any question around the structure of the course, what's in it. And we also are joined by an amazing alumni, Denny, who you can ask about socials, accommodation, funding, stuff like what it's really like to be a student. We know that you have a choice as to where you study this topic. We also know that you've done some homework on Cranfield University. But before we start, let's remind ourselves what an amazing place Cranfield University is. Gets me fired up every time I see that video. We've seen that a few times. Again, thank you for joining us. Use the Gecko text chat to type us questions at pretty much any time in the live session. Go to Gecko text chat, type in your name, and then just type away. Questions, comments. We particularly like challenges because it gives us a great chance to start a conversation. Joining me in the studio, I always say this, we're in the presence of greatness. In this case, it applies. Professor Andy Angus, we are very pleased to have Andy join us. I get it wrong every time. Your chair is Professor of Environmental
and Natural Resource Economics.
What does that mean?
So it's really where my interest in data comes from. So my interest is in really how everything around us, the air, the water, gold, timber, food, how that feeds into the economic processes into business and how it's converted into useful outputs. So it's really how we use the resources we have as efficiently as possible to make as many people as well off as we can. So that's very broadly what it...
I'm going to say, could you think of a broader topic? And that's everything, right?
So all the inputs we convert into outputs, yeah.
Wow. And you're also course director for this course?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you self-identify as a professor and a course director?
Yeah, so my expertise is in economics, but I'm course director of the Data Analytics MSc, really because when I step back from it, really what sort of drives me at work is converting data into useful outputs, and that's always been the case. So I've always had an interest in, where is the evidence for these decisions? How do we create better evidence? How do we make managers better informed? And I think that's really why I've come to data analytics. I think it's why all people come to data analytics, is the recognition that decisions in the modern world can't be made by gut feeling anymore.
Prove it to me that, and then data is the natural follow-on.
Absolutely. Yeah, we just saw the video how many pieces of data were, the statistics, so many. And so all of our decisions, I think, in the modern world are based around all these different pieces of information that we have to make sense of in order to make the best decision. So that's really what drives me, I think, and what I do.
Before we come to Denny, you should know that Andy's been around at Cranfield since 1996.
Yeah,
You've been carbon dated.
Yeah.
And you did your master's degree in, what was a master's degree in?
No, I did my undergrad.
Undergrad.
So Cranfield did undergrad. I did environmental science.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's talk to Denny, because Denny is the person that you need to ask in terms of what's it like being at Cranfield. You may hear stuff from Andy and I around business data analytics and the course, but you're going to hear from Denny as to what it's really like. Denny, it's great to have you with us. You've been with us before here in the studio. Tell us a bit about yourself and which year you studied business data analytics.
I studied business data analytics last year. So I'm Denny. I'm from Brazil. I'm 30 years old. So it was an amazing experience for me because I spent whole year on campus just to see different cultures, be involved with different societies and clubs. So for me, it wasn't such a nice experience.
Brilliant. Okay, so we want to ask Denny pretty much any question, any tricky question around what it's actually like. And they can be social related questions, accommodation related questions, or finance. We're also joined by Autumn Hanscom in the chat, who can answer some of the questions that we have around that. And also it's worth saying, get in touch with UniBuddy to find out from other students as well what it's like studying here at Cranfield. I'm going to kick off, if I can, Andy. Let's situate business data analytics, because it seems to be relevant to absolutely everything that Cranfield studies. Where is it situated, and why is it situated the way it is in the School of Management?
Well, I think businesses now have so much data at their disposal. It's from publicly available sources to so many businesses now have club cards, loyalty cards, which has customer data. So companies are almost awash with data. And the companies that are getting competitive advantage from that data are using it in a way that informs their decisions. So, simple things like customer reviews, doing some sort of sentiment analysis on customer reviews to learn what makes customers happy or not is absolutely critical to success.
Sentiment analysis, I've never heard that phrase
So
before.
essentially it uses algorithms to scan reams and reams of text and to identify each word as a positive or negative sentiment. So if I say, I love this product, it gives it a high score. If you say, I hate this product, negative. And so even from what people are saying, you can come up with a broad feeling of positivity or negativity associated with certain traits. Right. So you can look for correlations between good words and product characteristics. So I think AI particularly is opening up things that have taken a person years to do is now done instantaneously. So there's all of these tools are suddenly becoming available to unlock all of the data that companies have got. And the winning companies are those companies that are doing this the smartest.
Can you say exploit the data? Is that the right word to use?
I think it's utilize.
Utilize. Okay, utilize.
But also I think, where I'd like to think the Cranfield MSc is quite focused is that only happens with human intelligence. Right. So using AI to make decisions for you is already emerging as quite a bad idea.
A bad idea? Oh, we want to hear more about that.
So I think there's a few cases now where businesses have used AI to make a decision, and it's been based on sort of AI finds information, but the human has to understand, is that information reliable?
Right.
Is it trustworthy? Does it make sense? And so AI has to be harnessed correctly, I think. And so that's what we aim to do in the MSc, is give people an ability to use AI as a tool. So it's there to help, not to make decisions.
It's almost as if you imply that there's too much data. We just don't know what to do with it.
I think there's too much data. There's never too much data.
You can never have too
For a
much
quantitative analyst, never too much. But what I think is there's like anything, like mining, it's natural resources again.
Yes.
To get to the valuable elements, you've got to clear away a lot of things
Right.
that aren't
Good
necessarily valuable. So it's the same with data. There is some data that's unreliable, not useful. And so one of the skills of data analytics is to get the nuggets, the gold, the resource.
We want to talk about who's watching the presentation and who's logged in, but I guess you're going to say there's a crying out need for people who can do exactly what this, like Denny is doing. You would agree, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a shortage.
Yeah, and the statistics and the job market show this. You know, that if you look at the World Economic Forum, major international organizations are saying data analysts is a growing labor need, and will only get greater. So I think, particularly, using data and analytics is important, but also if you look at the skill needs, that is a major skill. The other skill that will be in short supply is human interaction skills. So people who can manage effectively, and you combine data analytics with managerial skills, and you've suddenly put yourself in a very elite talent pool. And so I think that's a really important combination.
We're going to talk to Denny in a bit about Denny's background, but there's already a question. Thank you. Find the text chat in Gecko and type in questions pretty much at any time that we're together. The first question is around, I have a computer engineering background. Would this course be relevant to me? Who are we talking about coming on this course?
Absolutely. So I would love everyone.
I knew you'd say that.
For a particular reason, which is we've always found this at Cranfield, that when you mix a class of someone who's got experience in one industry and they meet someone from another industry and they say, we've done things to get the same outcome, we've done things completely differently. We have a different structure, a different way of doing things, and then you learn from each other. So that exchange of ideas is really important. But I think everything uses data. If you've used data to analyze data to suggest how to do an engineering process more efficiently, that can transfer into business very easily because we're taking data to make businesses function more efficiently.
So literally anybody. I know you can use data in literature, English literature. Literally anybody. There's no limits to what you're.
Absolutely. So journalism. So now newspapers, AI tools can scan all the news of that day to look to see whether a politician, for instance, whether their message has been received positively or negatively, whether a business has been positively affected by. So I think any area can move into data analytics.
Wow.
And it is that data analytics is the way of the future, I think.
We're assuming this is of interest to you. Please let us know by asking a challenging question. Denny, let's find out a bit about you. What was your background and why did you choose to come on this course?
Yeah, so I'm an environmental engineer, kind of similar to Andy, but after my internship, I started to work in a bank with data analysis. So after that, I started to work in different companies, like working in a bank company, paper company, fossil fuel, sugar, and ethanol, all of them with data analytics or business intelligence. And I decided to come here to Cranfield because I want to improve my technical abilities, also improve my English, to face different cultures and different people around the world. So that's why I'm here. I decided to Cranfield because they create this new course, business data analytics. So I was part of the first cohort ever. So I just wanted to be here just to improve myself, put in a different put out of my comfort zone and see what's happened. That's why I decided to.
It's inspiring to hear you say that. That's kind of what Cranfield sees in its graduates. I've got to talk about this because you're going to have some questions for Denny later on. But where are you headed? What options are available to you now you've done this, and who are you looking to work with?
Yeah, basically, as Andy said before, working with data analysis, the option is very broad. Like you can work in different segments, different sector. It's up to you to decide, oh, I want to specialize in supply chain or finance or bank. So for example, considering my cohort, everyone wants to work in a different segment. Myself, I want to focus more in marketing or bank. So it's up to you what kind of skills you want to improve, But I think Cranfield will provide you all the resource that you need to achieve this target.
Thank you. We're going to come on to you, Danny, later on, talking about the careers team and what support that you get. Andy, I know that people can look on the website and find out information about the course, but can you give us a rationale around the structure of the course? How are you structuring the whole thing?
Yeah, so we have sort of quite a concentrated structure in that usually at Cranfield we teach 10 credit modules, but most modules are now on the MSc Business Data Analytics are double sized with the logic that it gives you longer to learn the tools. So we're going to use things like Python, R, different statistical packages to give you time to learn these things. So the double modules generally overlap, so at any one time you'll be doing 2 modules. And the way the course is structured, at the beginning it's very much building your toolbox. So we'll look at building your skills in Python and R coding at the same time as we explore how to collect data, what is useful data, which is more risky data, so how do we curate and collect meaningful, useful data? And then we'll look at the statistical tools to unlock the data. And then as we move into the second part of the course, we start applying the tools and the thesis becomes really important. So the modules cover all the major parts of data analytics, so descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive and prescriptive. They're the sort of 4 parts of data analytics. But the thesis is where you apply the tools. And so you do a concentrated study in an area that you want. So for instance, Denny did a great project on a marketing dashboard. We had other students who looked at predictive models. So you choose your thesis to apply the tools that you want to apply, that you see giving value to your future career, something to put on your CV for employees.
Gosh. Denny, I got to ask you about that. You brought that context to the study, right? And you then explored it some more. Say a bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I developed my thesis related about marketing, about bank, so related about dashboard. So my recommendation for everyone, when you come to Cranfield, come and see what you want to focus on in your future. So what kind of segment or what kind of area you want to work, because this will help you to, put in focus on what is necessary for you, because it's very diverse the options you can work in analytics. You can work with predictive analytics, descriptive analytics, so many options. So keep in your mind what you want to focus on and trying to study more, to contact more professional in your area, trying to improve your network, your skills. I think this will help you to month by month or week by week, help you to see what where you are developing and where are you improving, basically.
Denny's making it sound extraordinarily relevant. How do you keep the course relevant and up to date?
Yeah, it's something that gives me headaches because I think and what I really enjoyed from the last group is at the end in one of the thesis sessions they were showing me new tools that they had found that were making finding literature easy. So again, not making decisions for you, but allowing you different angles to search the literature and find connections between papers. So I learned a huge amount.
Because you weren't aware of.
So then these, and again, I think that's the benefit of being in a class of a size where you can talk and discuss things as you share ideas. So these new tools are arising all the time. So this part of it is having such a diverse classroom. People find new ideas emerge in discussions. We try them, we play with them, but largely where we keep up to date is through our alumni network. So we are connected to tens of thousands of alumni. So when we meet them, they're telling us about how they're harnessing AI, data analytics, and then we talk about what is the need? What do businesses need now? What do they need from students? What do they need from academia? And then we think about how we get that into the course. So how does our course content adjust to reflect that? And also, I think businesses come to us offering projects for students during their thesis. And,
Real projects, not spinning wheels.
No. So it's about half of students
challenges.
did projects for a business.
So if you don't come with something, you'll clearly have a choice, presumably a choice. You don't get given something.
No, you don't get given something. I mean, obviously it's limited by, we can't tailor it exactly, but it's limited by, like anything really, isn't it? That it's limited by the businesses that are interested and the issues they have. But we try and do that wherever possible.
You've talked about Python and R already. Denny, did you have complete knowledge and experience of using or coding in Python and using R, or was it brand new to you?
Yeah, I used to use Python in my previous company, and I used to use different tools. I think as a data analyst, I think it's important to see what kind of tools is important for you. For example, now in the market, they are looking for people who know SQL, business intelligence, like Power BI or Tableau. So it's kind of tool that is important as a business analyst to see and how to use to understand the business.
So do you teach all those SQL and all the things that Denny mentioned there?
We teach, I mean, certainly Python,
right?
And we'll give experience of SQL. And again, this is what the thesis allows you to do: is it allows you to apply everything we've learned.
Right.
And so I think a lot of these tools, you have to. It's not something we can sit in a classroom and say, "Now try this." It's more a case of, here's your project. How do I get Python to do a regression analysis? What is the code? And you learn that through the year.
That's quite something. You've got to come up with something. You're there to support, right?
Yeah.
But you're to a large extent saying, go figure, what do you think?
And that's what I loved about the class is I think, so there was a novice in the class at the beginning who hadn't really used Python before. At the end was really proficient. And what I saw in class was lots of sharing of code, lots of discussion, lots of helping.
That's nice.
And I think that's the beauty of being in a really good class, as you learn from each other.
Yeah. Denny, tell us more about the demographics of the class. How diverse, we've heard about diversity so far, how diverse was that?
I think we had more than 10 different countries, my cohort, with people around the world. I was the only one from Brazil, but we have like Indian, British, Nigeria, Taiwan, China, so it's very diverse.
Are they all coming with lots of experience as analysts already, or are they brand new to the topic?
No, was half and half, because some of them have a lot of experience in data analytics, but some of them was in transition, so they are looking for a new opportunity to get in the data analytics. Some of them start to coding in the first day of our class. So it's very diverse. So it's an opportunity for everyone, basically, because doing your master's in business data analytics, you start to look for end-to-end overview. So basically, they will start to give you with Python, descriptive analytics, predictive. So they will cover all of these topics, and it's up to you to specialize which one you want to focus on.
They being you give everything, and then it's down to the students. You encourage the students to focus. How does that work?
Focus on. So no, I think it is two-way. I think my view is I'm very much that I like to hear what the students want to do,
right?
Where their career is going. No, maybe they don't, and in which case it's here are options.
Right.
So we try and sort of focus. The thesis project is really the course is building the tools that you need for a data analyst, but then the thesis is where you apply. And I really encourage students to think about having a skill they can take from the MSc. So I've built a predictive, machine learning predictive model. You give me your data, I can do that for you, or I can build a dashboard. So we want skills that students could take. But we have lots of conversations through the year. So as a course director, my Microsoft Teams is always open, and I see students through the Cranfield. When you're here, is a relatively small place, so you see each other regularly. So I have lots of conversations with students about their career, and also what I see from the class is they lots of help between each other, talking about. And again, that's the great thing about a diverse classroom is you find someone who has worked in banking, and you ask them questions about that career, and then they're interested in financial journalism and
you find out stuff you didn't know you were interested in.
And I think that's the strength of diversity.
That's amazing. You said that you open with like 2 modules at once. How is that working? Are we looking at lectures? Are we looking at some sort of lab-based thing? How does it work on a day-to-day basis?
So it varies. So I passed a few of the students on my way to the studio. They're collecting data live on campus for a lecture. So it's
what sort of data?
I didn't get. I think I'm not sure actually.
Lecture attendance.
Yeah. At least I think they were doing that. They could have. Yeah, but
Who
no,
knows
they
what
were.
they do.
So the class is there. They've collected data. They're going to go back to class, enter the data on laptops, and analyze it.
Gosh.
So we have active learning, I suppose. So while we say you're in a classroom and it's a lecture, that lecture would comprise of, just like today, we encourage people to ask questions because that's where learning happens. We encourage helping each other. I don't think you can really say you're an expert in something until you can teach it. I think that really brings out, if you teach something to someone, I think that helps your understanding. So I think we support learning in a variety of ways, but most lectures would be a sort of trying to be interactive with some kind of exercise with data. So the emphasis very much on active learning rather than sitting there listening to how you do regression analysis. So it'd be active learning.
Denny, just expand on that if you can. A typical day for you was what? In a lecture room, in the library, hunting data down? What was it like?
You have a both. Basically, in the morning, you start with the technical, so it's a lecture. You spend maybe 4 hours learning the concepts about any topics about data analytics. And in the afternoon, you put your hands on. So it's more practical. So you learn more about how to program Python, how to use the codes to solve a problem. So it's both, it's like 50-50.
Andy, already we've talked a lot about Python and the technical side of data. There's a personal side to this, presumably. If you're in an organization, you've got to get across this information somehow.
Absolutely.
Say more about how the course helps you with that.
Absolutely. So as I said before, I think the skill that everyone's looking for is this technical side that you understand Python, R and other, and data manipulation and analysis. But the other side is how you make that data impactful, how you translate quite complex analysis to someone who doesn't need to know that. They need to know what are the key, can I trust it? And what do I need to do with the data?
Quite a skill.
Yeah. So we have, for instance, the business analytics and management module, where last year we had 2 externally sourced projects that were the assignments. So students worked on those projects to deliver an output. We have presentations. And I think for data analytics, often it can be uncomfortable. We like to be behind a screen working with
Safe
data.
with my data, yeah.
You're safe with your data. And it's the same with everything. But there is a point at which we have to step out and convey the messages to a manager, make those messages impactful. So we do spend time on how we do that: presentations, assignments, reports. So we do go into sort of soft skills.
So you're presenting to the class, to each other.
Yeah.
Presentation skills. Denny, how was that for you? Was that a scary thing? You worked in banks and industry before now. Was that normal to you or was that new?
Wasn't normal in Portuguese, but in English, totally a challenge for me, because you need to, like, you are learning a new topic, but you are speaking in your second language. So yeah, totally challenging for me. But it's something that you need to get used to, because it's something that is expected to do in your future company. So it's something like base activities. You need to build your dashboard, you build your analysis, and after that you need to present for your customer. So it's something that you need to practice a lot, and we did this a lot during the last year.
You seem to bring, Denny, a lot of experience to here, but there could be people watching, and you could be one of them, that are new to this whole thing? And maybe they're new, or they haven't been in education for a long, long time, but they want to upskill somehow. What's it like coming back into education? What support are we providing?
Yeah, so I think there's two things there. One is people coming in fresh from university often have some skills that those who are more experienced don't have, which is like have those who haven't been to university for a while have forgotten how to do an assignment efficiently, how to translate what's been in the lecture room into an assignment. So often have up-to-date knowledge on new tools.
Right.
And so more experienced and less experienced people actually mix really, really well. But I think coming back to, so again, I suppose what Denny's just mentioned there is what's really important is class support, that everyone's learning most people are learning a new language, new coding. So supporting each other through that is really important.
Ask for help.
Yeah, and I think that's what Cranfield really specializes in, is we manage our class sizes so that you feel at home. So if you say something and it's incorrect, everyone is grateful because that's something, other people were thinking that question anyway, and you can share information, we can present, we can give feedback in a friendly way. So I think how we support students coming back to university is they're in a very supportive environment with their class. Faculty are experienced with managing, so a lot of our students are more experienced, and we have support network around of professional services that help you adjust to life.
Are we talking exams? Are we talking assignments? How are we assessing people's progress?
Yeah, it's no exams.
Yay.
Because it's very unlikely that you would
never do that in business.
No. And so it's a mix of assignments. Those assignments will have individual assignments, group assignments, because, for instance, at the moment I'm working on a project where we're in a group. There's a group of us delivering the project. So group work is a very work-like task. There'll be presentations, presenting code. So mainly individual and group reports, but with 1 or 2 presentations.
Denny, you got to tell us, how was that group project? That sounds a little bit scary. Do you choose your group or you get put into a group?
No, it was totally random in the beginning, and was very difficult in the beginning because, as I said before, you are facing different people around the world. You are speaking as your second language. You are not able to fully able to say what you want to say. So sometimes it could be very annoying for you but at the same time, in the end, you see what you develop and you are very proud of because you see how much you delivered and how much you developed for this program. So in the end, it was very good to see, okay, I submit this assignment with my group, was very challenging, but in the end, we developed this to ourselves. So it was very good for us.
It sounded like, Danny, you were confident coming in, but it sounds like you were even more confident as a result of this course.
Yeah, I mean, because in the end, after 1 year, you see what you delivered. It's very comfortable for you and see what it's very I feel very proud in the end.
Yeah. Tell me though, think your mind back about a year, Denny. What was it like as a brand new student at Cranfield? There's a lot to learn, there's a lot to get used to, not least of which is accommodation and just living in Cranfield.
Yeah, I mean, take a bus, it was completely different. Go to do your grocery, or if you need to attend the NHS, everything is new. So in the beginning, you need to study, for example, okay, how can I use the Google Maps to read the groceries, or I need to go to shopping, or I need to buy something here. Your address is totally different compared to your country. Everything is new, so it was very annoying. It was very scary in the beginning, but after maybe 2 months, I think you get used to. And yeah, that's it. I think in the end, the worst part for me was the weather.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry.
I think when you make some friends and you get used to go to different city, I think you start to enjoy in a different perspective.
The sun does shine at Cranfield, just so you're aware. It's not always cloudy. You may have seen a cloudy sky, maybe not as often as you think. Well, we're going to come on to something like accommodation a bit later on. Andy, in terms of the tempo, the pace, the cadence of the course, it's full time, it's full on. You haven't got much relaxation and rest time, right?
It's so the way we work it is generally most weeks we probably have about 3 days where you're in lectures and you'd be in 4 to 6 hours those days. So those days are very, I think, very tiring, as in 4 to 6 hours in a classroom learning is intense. On the 2 days where you're not in class, you'd be expected to be doing pre-reading, working in teams to learn the material we've covered, but also working on assignments. So yeah, I think if you treated it as a full-time job, 37 hours a week, then I think you'd be comfortable.
And towards the second in the second part of the year, things drop off a little bit. There's less lectures.
Yeah,
is it all the lectures all the way through to the end?
So to about May, and then May time to September, it's thesis.
Right.
But your thesis will be intensive, as in there'll be data collection, analysis, presentation, and then as well you'll probably be doing quite a bit of career work on your own to think about your next steps.
So you're around, I'm assuming, for the thesis. You don't say adios, bye, we'll see you later. You're around to help with that.
Yeah, so I think we have sort of monthly class meetings where we talk about different stages of thesis. You also have an academic supervisor who you'll meet once or twice a month, and then probably more informal meetings. You might have a client that you meet as well. So there might be a supervisory meeting, client meeting, and then we've got our lecture once a month for different stages of the thesis. So no, certainly you'd be here working on your thesis. There's also the university supports thesis writing sessions. So everyone, no matter where they are, will do a literature review. So how do you write an effective literature review? How do you write a discussion? So there is, again, as Denny was saying, for many people, the act of writing a thesis isn't just academic. It's writing in your second language, which I have absolutely respect for Denny and what he did, because if I was to try and write in Portuguese, I couldn't. So again, there's support around for this. And I think how amazing that as Denny said at the end, you've written and produced a thesis for a client in another language. It's incredible.
Denny, you've got to tell us more about that. If you look back on your thesis now, maybe you don't want to see it ever again, but how relevant, how was that experience to what you're doing now? Tell us more.
I receive a lot of help, like Andy support me, another professor helped me to develop my thesis. In the end, it was very good, because when you have someone to help you and guide you, and maybe saying what we need to develop together and what the right path we need to go, I think it becomes easier. So in the end, I'm very proud, because you use a lot of different tools. You use a lot of different strategies to help you to develop your thesis. So I'm very proud to develop this thesis in my second language with different professionals. So yeah, I'm very proud.
We're proud that you're proud. Let's move on to careers. Careers, because you guys want a job at the end of it. You want to know that this is the course to get a job at the end of it. How are we geared towards finding jobs at the end? Or is that something you're not interested, or Cranfield isn't interested in?
No.
I know you're going to say that's not the case.
No, I think we're very interested, because I think I appreciate what a big investment this is. It's a one-off investment, isn't it? It has to be right, and it needs to be right for a career. So, and again, we saw the video at the beginning that had all the statistics about how good we are at this. But no, it starts from the beginning. So as Denny said, I really encourage everyone to come here with an idea of what it is they want to do. I think those that get jobs very quickly after the MSc have begun networking during the MSc, and the careers service, I think, is not there to get you a job. It's there to facilitate you getting a job. So they will show you how to network effectively. We'll try and bring people into class for you to meet to begin that networking. So tomorrow we've got a seminar on data analytics and finance from an external company coming in to talk about how they develop their career in that sector.
Potentially a future employer.
Yeah, and so it's then through projects that we source for MSc thesis, we try and help you generate this network. But a lot of it is you networking too. So it's turning up to events on campus where there are employers and there's career fairs. But it's a bit of a joint effort, really. And I think all we can do at Cranfield is really facilitate, help you on the next step, sort of help you build your network. I think that's what works best.
Denny, what was that like in terms of career fairs and getting engaged? How did you find that?
Yeah, I mean, as Andy said before, you have 2 days free on the week. So trying to enjoy these 3 days to focus in yourself, to contact different, to use your LinkedIn, for example, or contact the career team, or trying to develop yourself projects by yourself. So enjoy these free times to do what is necessary for you to get another chance to be next to your next next challenge. So basically, use this career fair or social events that's every time happening in Cranfield to make sense. Trying to use this opportunity to contact all of them. So basically, my previous year we had, I think, 3 seminars. We use all of them to contact the different professional. One of them was in the bank, and in the end, he was one of my supervisor in my thesis. So it was very helpful for me and I met him for the first time during the seminar. So yeah.
We've heard Denny and you talk about banks and finance, but tell us more if you know anything about the finance for the course. If people are thinking, how do I pay for this course? Are we looking at scholarships, bursaries? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we have sort of merit-based scholarships. So depending on your results and your degree, there are different scholarships there. We also have regional scholarships that you can apply for if you're from particular regions. So we have that information on our website.
Check the website.
Yeah.
And Denny, if I can ask you about finance and how you paid for it, how did that work for you?
Yeah, for my case, I got one of the scholarships from America. So it was very helpful for me because when you compare the Brazilian currency with British currency, it's very, we are not in a very well situation. So this scholarship helped me to get there and study in a previous year.
Thank you. And hopefully, Autumn, if you're there, you can leave us a link to the webpage for the course. I'm sure you've all found it, but if you've not seen it, it's there as well. We've got to talk about accommodation. Denny, how was it for accommodation when you were here on Cranfield campus? Did you live on campus or did you live off campus? And how easy was it to arrange that?
Yeah, I live on campus. You have more than 5 options inside the campus, and I share my accommodation with my partner, and it was very good because it took only 5 minutes to reach the classroom, so you can save a lot of time. Was very helpful to reach different clubs and societies at the same time. When you live outside your campus, you need to take a bus, so it takes like 30 or 45 minutes just to go to Milton Keynes or Bedford. It's the city beside Cranfield. So sometimes it's very good for me, my perspective was good to stay on campus because you can save more time. It's easier. And I mean, it's more comfortable as well.
So I guess you have the option to live off campus, but it's just more convenient to live on campus.
Yeah, you have option, but a lot of students prefer to stay on campus because it's more convenient.
And tell us, you mentioned clubs there. What sort of social life? Because Andy's got you working so hard, you don't have any time for social life. What sort of social is there here at Cranfield?
You have a different sports to play here, like basketball, football, volleyball, different clubs as well, astronomy, photography. You have many options, and you can create a new club or you can create a new sport here. It's up to you. If you can join different students to join your club, you can create a new society. And you have a CSA, it's like a student association. They provide different activities during the week, also a party on the Friday. So the social life is very, it's happened a lot.
Party on Friday.
Basically.
You didn't
Yeah.
attend the parties on Friday.
No.
We're coming to an end. If you've not had a chance to ask a question, please do that. Again, if you're watching the recording and you've gotten this far, we are very keen to hear from you. So let's have that conversation going. In the last few minutes, what advice would you be giving to people now? What deadline dates are we looking at? What should they be doing? What preparation?
Yeah, so I think that deadlines are on the website. I think my main bit of advice would be apply. So I think, you know, you can apply, have a conversation with us, get to know us, speak to student ambassadors, because I think, I think that probably my main advice is speak to people who've been at Cranfield, done the course, because then you get a real feel for what you can expect. So we can talk about what you'll get and marketing, and I think the real information comes from those that have studied and the benefits they've got.
Well,
yeah. And I think, but I think in terms of if you are coming to Cranfield, my main preparation is always come rested. Yeah. So I think enjoy your summer. I think that the more preparation you do and you arrive tired, then you're not ready for the learning. So I think come rested,
chill,
keep up to date with current affairs, what's important to business, so read newspapers, but enjoy your summer, because when you come here, it'll be hard work, and you'll be possibly learning a new language, learning to code, meeting new friends, learning to live in another country. It's a lot. So come ready, come prepared, come excited. I think people who come here ready and excited to learn get the most from this.
You heard it here. Chilled, relaxed, but excited. Last few seconds. In terms of what does a good applicant look like, or what does a good application look like? You're a tutor, admissions tutor, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
How would you describe that? A good one?
So I think it's say why you're interested in data analytics. What is it that makes you interested? And it doesn't have to be business analytics. It can even be saying, this is what I've done, this is why I'm interested in analytics. I don't know anything about business analytics, but it excites me. This is what interests me. So show an appetite for learning, I think. So what is it about business data analytics that excites you? What is it you want to do with that knowledge? And just a little bit about your background and how you want to take that background and take it forward.
Wow.
But I think it's wanting to come here for a purpose. What is your purpose to be here? What excites you about that purpose?
Gosh, you've done all this, Denny. What advice would you give to people on this call or watching the recording who are thinking of coming to do business data analytics?
I think the most important advice I can give you, understand what you want to do in your future, and understand what, for example, you want to do in your next year or in 5 years, because it gets easier to organize and plan and strategy for you and how to achieve this goal. So for example, if you want to focus in Python or SQL, start to build your strategy. How can you learn, and how can you use, or which company or who you can contact to help you to achieve this goal. I think it gets easier for you to get what you are looking for. Don't expect, for example, Cranfield or someone's will appearing in front of you and hold your hands and do everything for you. So if you are already prepared for the situation, I think everything will be fine for you.
That's brilliant advice. We have run out of time. Denny, it's been fantastic. You must stay in touch. We want to find out where you head with this amazing qualification under your belt. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day. Andy, it's always a pleasure working with you.
Pleasure.
I want to do the course.
And great to see Denny again. Denny, it's fantastic to see you again. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's fantastic having you with us. Get in touch. We want to hear from you. Goes without saying. The producer today was Autumn Hanscom. The studio managers were Chris Ripley and Marco Gomez. My name is Toby Thompson. Thank you for watching.